Okay. So, we have the morning after. Everyone's yelling about Michelle because they're so into her. Caitlin, so Tayshia goes and talks to Michelle about her feelings about night one, and Caitlin goes and talks to the guys about, how all this works, and then delivers the first date card, which has Rick, Will, Brandon, PJ, Casey, Dan. So there is a Daniel. That's probably what that Darnell was Daniel. LT, Peter, and Romeo. Excuse me. And they go on a date. And it's a children's classroom date. Where God bless. It's essentially, are you farter than a smart grader? Are you smarter than a 5th grader? They do math, science, and English. The men, it's literally been a day and the men already dislike Peter. They're calling him a narcissist. Brandon is proving to be semi-literate, but he's so hot it doesn't matter. Kids are just like, I don't normally like precocious kids in media, but they're just like, the editing gave them really good comedic timing, because at one point one of the guys is like, Michelle, psst, Miss Michelle, and one of the kids goes, leave her alone. Iconic, yes. So we're back at the resort with the other guys. That's really all that's important that happens there. Peter gets mad, and during the cocktail hour, who pulls him to the side? Casey. I don't even know who it was. Was it Casey? I feel like it wasn't Casey, but whatever. We have a brewing Here for the Right Reasons brigade. Don't worry, we're getting there. But Casey pulls Peter to the side and is like, I think you're an insecure little bitch, because Peter pulled Brandon to the side and was like, I don't like that you called me a narcissist. And Peter and Brandon, someone, I don't know these men yet, get into a screaming match. I don't even know how far away they were, but they were loud enough that Michelle could hear them while chit-chatting with one of the other men, and it's very embarrassing. So of course teacher Michelle's like, gotta do conflict resolution, and pulls him to the side and is like, hey, what's going on? I just didn't like it when he made me feel bad and called me a narcissist. So he's all in his feelings, and she's just like, yeah, well, I need you to be a little better about expressing your feelings, bud, yeah. And he's just like, this ruined my chances of getting a rose. And it's like, we obviously as the audience can only see what production lets us see, but I don't know, he just didn't have it. It's time for back at the hotel, date card for the one-on-one. If you're not getting the one-on-one, you're going on the second group date. So Jamie gets the one-on-one. Fleshy eyes young hair gets the one-on-one. He's essentially just like, but what if she's not ready for me? What if she's not built for my life? And I was already just like, bitch, if you go home, send yourself home. I hate when these men act like they are such a prize. I hate when these men act like they are just the catch of the day. I don't like you. My goodness. Do something to deserve the love of Michelle Young. I don't even like Michelle that much, and it's still just like, what are you doing for her lately? Stop worrying about you, worry about her. So they go on the date. It's a rock climbing date. They're in Joshua Tree, and they're gonna rock climb up to the top of the area for their picnic. I hate the idea of physically exerting myself on the first date, especially like that, where I could scrape up my knees, injure myself. Any injury to me kills libido. I can't even begin to think of you as a sexual object if I am in any way hurt. So, not the date for me. But go off, queen. then we learn they go and sit down, and she talks about how much her parents love each other and how that's affected her view on love. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I do not feel the same. Or I'm glad that you're willing to date someone who doesn't have a great family life. Because he then reveals to us his backstory, and I truly am taking seriously all the elements that combine to make him what he is, from his parents being young parents to his mother's suicide. All of that is things to be taken seriously and are real life things. But I dislike Jamie so much that it's like tonal whiplash with him. The way production, you're like, oh god, he is an asshole. Oh my god, he was raised in like such a tragic environment. He barely got to finish school, barely got to be a kid because of what was happening with his parents, to what happens at the end of the episode. And you're just, I did not vibe with that. So he does not bring up any part about him being like, are you ready for my life? And he tells us his background, and obviously Michelle gives him the rose. Oof. 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 I miss Paradise because I knew everyone's names. Okay, so back at the house, Joe gets a call from home. He also has had something very tragic happen to him. His basketball coach has passed, and his basketball coach really set him up to be the player that he is, and apparently he was very good. So we're going on group date 2. I had to piecemeal who was on this date because, again, I don't know these men's names yet, and I also still didn't know who was on date 1. So I believe we have Martin, Joe, Rodney, Clayton, Pradeep, Chris G, Chris S, Nate, Spencer, Malik, James. It's a basketball date, and they're split up for 5-on-5 basketball. We learn a little bit about Joe, who was Mr. Basketball 2021, and Michelle was the runner-up in, not 2021, 2011, and Michelle was the, she was the runner-up for Miss Basketball for that year. It is a mosquito, how dare you? It was a slaughter fest in the first half, going 8-25. The other group kind of chills out on the murder, and the game ends up being 28-29. So it was actually a very good game. But blue team still wins, and that team does not have Joe on it. And Joe had a tragedy happen. So of course, he is getting in on that cocktail hour, because that's what the prize was. I didn't say that. I apologize. It was a chance for some time with Michelle at the cocktail party, the after party. So all the other guys are mad, and then the guys who are on the winning team are also mad because they worked quote unquote harder, and then, you know, they still didn't get to have any schwan time with Michelle. So we go to the after party, the guys chat her up, and of course Joe is the one who wins the rose. Nate, people are beginning to discuss the fact that Joe and Michelle knew each other pre-Bachelor, because someone knew and is telling them. And Nate is like, I'm 100% not worried. It's totally fine. Because I'm worried about my relationship with Michelle, not her relationship with everyone else. Rodney gets a charcuterie board with different apples and foods, and via what we see through production, he gets literally everything wrong, and I love him more for it. No brain cells. Not a single one going for him, and I love that. Just a sweetheart, just a nice guy. Like, he called pizza lasagna, and I was like, I do not like that lasagna. It's like, baby, honey child, that's pizza, that's bless. Joe gets the group date rose, which of course upsets the guys who actually won their basketball game. But you know what? That's between them and God, not me. Because I know how production works. This is classic Bachelor production where you have a set of rules and then you break that set of rules, you break the norm, and then that norm breaker is the one who gets the prize. Because that's always how it goes, because that's what show we're watching. Know what show you're going on before you go on it. So we're at the cocktail party and Jamie is talking to Martin about Michelle knowing Joe. He claims that a friend of his from Minneapolis saw Michelle at a bar, said, oh, she's gonna be the new Bachelorette, and she was out with a light-skinned baller type. Malik and Nate are like, bro, mind your fucking business. But he does not mind his business and then proceeds to make it everyone else's problem. He makes it everyone else's business. So he goes up to Jamie, goes up to Michelle and is like, hey, some of the guys are questioning your relationship with Joe because, like, they're saying you knew each other outside the show. And, you know, that is the other people are saying that. I'm not saying that, but other people are saying that, which is a complete another lie. But you know how this show goes. So Michelle is just heartbroken. She's just like, they are questioning my integrity, which, you know, is like a bachelor dog whistle to just be like, Wee! It's like terrible. Which prompted me to write the note, suck a dick, Jamie. I don't really care, but like, we need to know. Fuck you, Jamie. So this man is lying out of his ass saying that it wasn't him. Michelle's like, I have to go and talk about this to others. I'm glad you brought it up to me. She goes to the group and is like, hey, I just went out with a black dude who happened to be my friend. I don't know why someone would assume we're dating. I think that's a weird thing that you need to unpack. Unpack that elsewhere. I, you know, have friends. And she's just like, who said it? What was said? Who said it? And no one's coming through to say it because no one but Jamie knows what he's talking about, because Joe's just sitting there looking dumb and Jamie's sitting there looking dumb, and probably Martin too. But Jamie and his red suit of deceit, his red suit jacket of lies, well, she goes and essentially ends the cocktail party part because she's upset. Jamie essentially dive bombing everything because he's already got a rose. I hate that tactic where you feel safe enough with your rose that you're going to ruin the party for everyone else. Gross. Sickening. Gross. Ugh. At least watch like 3 episodes of the show you're gonna go on if you don't want to have the villain edit. Whatever. Everyone in the house is like, where does this come from? And then the house is like, we have no idea, but we know it's about you, you pussy ass bitch. I was pissed. I hate Jamie and his fleshy face. Like, I was already not vibing with him when he was just like, can she keep up with me? Send yourself home if you're so self-destructive. So, we say we're doing the rose ceremony, and Brandon and Nate are Jamie and Joe and Brandon all have roses. So we get Nate, Rick, Chris G, Alu, Romeo, Peter, LT, Clayton, Will, Chris S, Casey, Malik, Spencer, Leroy, Rodney, Martin, yeah, and Joe. All are safe. We say goodbye to some other guys that are unimportant, and then Pardeep. So next week we'll be dealing with the fallout of this assumed duplicity on Michelle's part. Let's see how long it takes for these men to unionize, because who knows what it will take without union boss Aaron to really get the ball rolling. Either way, I'm pretty meh on the season, which probably means it's actually a good season for actual Bachelor fans. I have apparently very polarizing feelings. I mean, goodness knows, I was able to sniff out that Matt James' season was hot shit, but you know, and I stand by that. So my top 6, because I forgot about Joe, is Nate, Rick, Brandon, Romeo 4, Clayton and Joe are 5, 6. I don't know. I just feel like it's too easy to set Joe and Michelle up, that she's gonna end up with the guy she was already interested in outside the show. I think it's gonna be Nate. I think Nate's got it. I think Joe's gonna go far. Some other things that I think about the men is Rodney is just so dumb and sweet that I just don't think there's a thought behind his eyes. I don't know how much longer he's gonna last, but I hope he sticks around for a little bit. Jamie's a scumbag and I want him gone in 1 to 2 episodes. And Peter is literally a child. He just busts out the seams at any time anything is inconvenient. Lastly, Martin is a pot stirrer. And pot stirrers are good for TV, but they are terrible to build the foundation of your life with. So I hope he goes soon. Alright, that's the end of week 1 and 2. That's the end of my recap. Yeah, you can subscribe around here. You can check out my makeup channel, yeah. Alright, I'll see you next week. Just Bachelor spelled incorrectly. Alright, bye guys.